Hey guys, it's Sinem and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. So today I'm going to be testing the brand new Too Faced 24-hour matte foundation, the Born This Way matte foundation. And yeah, we're just going to be doing a wear test, a full kind of demo review, testing it out. I do have dry skin as well, so if you do have dry skin, this would be a great review for you because you can see how it works on dry skin. So I'm going to let you guys just jump straight into it. So the brand new Too Faced Born This Way matte 24-hour foundation. It says it is oil free, it's oil controlling, waterproof, transfer resistant, undetectable, super long wear foundation, and yeah, it lasts for 24 hours. So this is supposed to be a waterproof foundation and transfer resistant as well, so I'm going to be testing the transfer portion of it. I do want to mention I have dry skin, so I'm excited to see how this is going to play with dry skin, if it's going to work for those of you who have dry skin as well, or if it's only a foundation that's going to be normal to oily skin. So I have mine in the shade Swan, which is supposed to be very fair with neutral undertones. I'm worried it's going to be a little too light, so let's see. But this is what the box looks like. As you can see, really pretty. Standard Too Faced packaging with the baby pink and gold, and then this is the new matte foundation, and that's what that one looks like. I'm excited to try this out. I'm going to be doing one side with a primer and one side without a primer, just to see if it makes a difference with a gripping primer. And also I am going to be doing a wear test as well, so I'll be wearing it throughout the day, and I'll check back in with you guys later in the video in the evening and see how it worked and see if it lasted. The time right now is 10:30 in the morning. For the primer side, I'm going to be going in with my Milk Hydro Grip primer, and the reason I'm going for this one is because it's a nice gripping primer and I know it's going to make the foundation last long. So again, I want to compare and see if it really makes a difference with primer or without. And let's do primer on this side. I have nothing on my skin at the moment either. This is a very sticky primer. So now that we have the primer on this side, I'm going to go into the foundation, and I'm going to be using a brush to apply it on both sides just because I don't usually use a sponge, and I'm going in with the Real Techniques 301 brush crush. So let's just see. It comes with a pump and I'm excited to see what the shade is going to be like. Ooh, it comes out quite runny. I thought it was going to be really thick, but this looks like it might be a really good match. So I'm going to show you guys my skin before the foundation. This is without the primer, and this is the primer side. So let's go in with the no primer side. I wonder if it's going to give me enough playtime. Okay, it's definitely drying down super matte already. I don't feel like you have to work quickly with it. It gives you enough time to play around with it, but it does definitely dry down quickly to a matte. Okay, this is looking like the most perfect match for me. And it's looking really nice, especially on dry skin. I don't find that it's clinging to my dry patches or anything. Let's do up here. So with this type of foundation, especially I think on dry skin, I find that if you were to swipe and go in circles, it's definitely going to be patchy and it's going to look drying. So you have to really just lightly press this into the skin, and I find that it blends and pushes the foundation into the skin a lot better, and it sits a lot better on dry skin. I like that this hasn't set, so it's still allowing me to play around with it. So far, I'm extremely impressed. It's definitely very matte. And I like that because I don't normally go for a matte foundation because I have dry skin, but I like that this is a really comfortable matte, especially on my dry skin. I think if you are oily, this would be amazing for you. I mean, just looking at it, what do you guys think? I think the color is perfect. I think it just looks really seamless and smooth. It definitely did say it was an undetectable foundation, which definitely, you know, you can't really tell. Maybe the color isn't 100%, but then again, I'm very pale. So yeah, I think it looks definitely very undetectable. You can't see where it stops and starts. It looks really, really smooth. So I'm definitely liking that. That's good. But let's go in with the primer side, and I'm just doing the exact same thing. And it goes a long way as well, but I do about 1.5 pumps. So like I said, I just like to press this into the skin rather than swiping and going in circular motions. I love that it's covered enough, but not to the point where it looks super full coverage and cakey. Like my skin, I don't feel like looks cakey. You can still see my blemish peeking through and my scars, but it's covered them enough where I don't mind it. I don't need to go back in with a lot more, if that makes sense. Also, if you do have dry skin, just use a really good moisturizer underneath and then a primer, and this will still work for you as well. So this is what my skin is looking like with the foundation. Let me know what you guys think down below. I really, really like it. I think it's a little, now that I'm looking at it, my neck is really yellow and this is a little too pink. It's obviously on the neutral side, so it's gonna lean more towards kind of just in between and not so golden, but I think it works. I think once I do the rest of my makeup, it will come together. I really, really like it. It's definitely very matte, but it reminds me of my Maybelline Superstay, because that is a matte foundation as well, but it's a matte where it doesn't look drying, because I've tried matte foundations and a lot of them tend to look very drying and cakey on dry skin, but this is looking good. It's looking very undetectable. It's looking very smooth, very flawless. It just covers evenly, like it doesn't look patchy. It just goes on really, really nicely, and I like that it's very kind of runny. I was expecting it to be a very thick foundation, but it wasn't. And I like that because it's runny, I can play around with it a little bit more and it's not gonna dry down too quickly. So this is with the foundation. Wow. It definitely feels matte. Like it's definitely dried down, almost feels like a powder. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel like I have anything on my skin. It feels lightweight. And yeah, I don't see anything on my fingers at all. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna go in with the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna fast forward this part and I'll just talk to you guys through a voiceover of what I'm using. So I'm going in with my Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez Brightening Concealer in 110N. This is a good test as well to see how it wears with other products. I'm using my Mercier powder to set underneath my eyes. I'm not going to set the rest of my face because I really want to see if that foundation lasts without powder. Now going in with the Rimmel Natural Bronzer in Sun Bronze. I'm going in with the XX Revolution blusher in Entice. And for highlighter, the MAC Extra Dimension Skinfinish highlighter in Double Gleam, which is a nice whitish gold. To finish it off, I'm going in with the Monica lipstick by Makeup Revolution. The time is 10:50 and yes, I'm going to be wearing it throughout the day. I'm also going to be wearing a mask because I'm actually going out, and because I'm going to be wearing a mask, it's actually better because you get to see if it transferred onto the mask, because every time I wear masks, foundation transfers onto it. So I'm going to be showing you guys as well my mask and see if it transferred. So this is going to be a really good wear test, a really good review, so stay tuned for the next part. And yeah, actually, I'm just going to go now and you guys will see the wear test. So I'm back and I've pretty much worn it for 8 hours straight, and the time is now 6:47 p.m. in the evening. And yeah, let's talk. So I did go out today just really quickly, but I did wear my mask, of course. And I did want to show you guys if it was transfer resistant, and let me show you guys. As disappointing as it is, there is some makeup that has transferred. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. I may have to do a close-up. It has transferred, which is super annoying because I really had high hopes for this not transferring. I mean, if it's come off on the mask, bear in mind I didn't even set it with powder. I'm just doing what they're claiming. You know, they didn't say to set it with powder or anything like that. So if they're claiming that they are 24-hour wear and it's already coming off within 8 hours, then pretty much the claims are a lie. I will say the way that my skin looks is amazing. It still kept the coverage. It did not go patchy. It didn't come off in certain areas. I'm really impressed with the chin because I always get makeup that comes off in this area, especially my nose as well. I mean, it's doing really well. There is a slight little line right there. But, you know, my face, my cheeks, my forehead, I mean, my forehead looks crazy good. And I did get my eyebrows threaded as well today. They just done this area, but my forehead is still smooth. I mean, everything just looks still really nice. The only thing, like I said, is that it did come off on the mask, so I mean, I'm not really going to count it as transfer proof. I am going to go ahead with my fingers right now and also just press into my skin and see if it comes off on my fingers. So let's go ahead. Yeah, nothing has come off. I'm sure if I set it with powder, it would be a lot more transfer resistant. So yes, next time I will be setting it with powder. But again, I of course wanted to test it without additional products and to mess around with it too much because I did want to see what the claims were. Looking at it from one side with the primer and one side without, I literally do not see a difference. If anything, the side without the primer looks a little bit better. And this is the side with the primer. So now let's do a little side by side. So this is what it looks like after 8 hours of wearing. So I'm really impressed. You don't even need to wear a primer with this. Of course you can, but it didn't really affect the wear time. So I guess that's great because that means this lasts long as well as a primer would. So you wouldn't even need to wear a primer. It's still going to give you the long wear as if you did wear a primer, if that makes sense. I hope I didn't make that confusing. So yeah, it's a great long wearing foundation. It definitely is very long wearing. It stayed true to how it looked at the beginning. It hasn't, you know, sweated off. It hasn't come off. It's not patchy. And usually with my foundation it does. So that's absolutely amazing. The only downside to it is the transfer part, but again, you can set it with powder and I think you'll be good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I definitely recommend this foundation. Again, I would say probably more for oily skin. I mean, of course dry skin can wear it as well. I will leave a link down below for you guys to check it out along with the other products I used. And I think that is it for me. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll answer them. But yes, definitely recommend it. It's good. I'm going to be playing around with it in more videos and you guys will see it. But that was just my first impressions and I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and I'll speak to you guys all in my next video.